take the page that you got, right? Like I've got this just on a regular old piece of paper. I'm going to take the corner of that piece of paper, and I'm going to tear it off. And if you don't want to ruin your page, you could just get another piece of paper and tear the corner off of that piece of paper. And if it's too late, then that sucks. All we're doing at this point is you should have noticed from the assignment that you got this week, Pat's review, that there's two different things we're looking for when we're making our art. All right. The first thing is like what we use to make art. Line, shape, value, texture, all those art elements is what you use. And then what you're trying to achieve is the other thing. And what we're really trying to achieve when you're learning how to draw something, what you're always learning to achieve, what you're trying to achieve, is proportion. It's the hardest thing when you're starting off. Which is why when I asked people how it went, the first thing they said was in regards to proportion. So proportion is the thing that you're aiming for, and some people were like, oh, mine was to this and mine was to that. What went wrong with the proportions? That's what we're going to figure out today. All right? So we did it a little bit in Pat's review, but I'm going to show you another way to check these things. All right? And that has to do with checking your proportions by actually measuring them out. In the video, I showed you how to do all the proportions by using your pencil, because that's what we do as artists. Like, that's how we measure things out as an artist, is just their relationships to each other using a pencil. And from me to Michelangelo, everybody does it the same way. All right? But you can go back and you can check your work to see how things went, or you can check your proportions as you're going along by using an actual measuring device, which is really easy to make. So here I've got my measuring device, and I'm going to take that measuring device and I'm going to measure my original circle shape. Now I'm still in the block in, so I can measure my circle shape in this direction. Some of you might need to go to this direction to measure your circle shape. All right? But I'm going to measure my circle shape, and then I'm going to take that measurement and I'm going to do the stuff that I was trying to do before with my pencil, but now I can be more precise about it. You can actually get out an actual ruler when you're working on this stuff if you're really having trouble with proportions, and you can break these things up even better. But as an artist, eyeing it is literally what I do. So I'm just going to eyeball it. I just look. I look for the halfway point between these 2 points, like we did in the video. And then I look for the halfway point between those 2 halves. And now I have my measurement for the head. This is how big the head was supposed to be if I had done things correctly, right? And then I take it over here and I put it on top of the circle, and I see if it's the right measurement. Now that line, if I break it up in half, gives me another line, and that is my only other distance that I need to measure in this situation, because all the other basic shapes were made by measuring the head and breaking it in half. And that was for the legs, and that was for the arms, and that was for the eyes. All of those things are supposed to be half of the head length. Right? So what you should do today, and I'm going to post a question in the classwork section of the stream that asks you about these proportions, is you should do this little activity. Just take a little piece of scrap paper, measure these things out, and if you're not too good at judging these things visually, that's what you get better at as an artist. And you can totally just measure this stuff with a ruler. You can just take that original circle shape measurement and you can divide it in half, divide it in quarters, and then you've got exactly what you need to find out about the basic